What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Detective Bailey in Scream 6. Go over my character predictions, my expectations, all that stuff for his character. He's an interesting one. I wasn't even really sure if I was going to make this video because I'm just so conflicted on this guy. I've really set my sights on Henry Czerny's character and Jack Champion's character of Ethan, right? Those have really been my two of, okay, there's something off. There's something really off with both of them. They could be the Ghostface duo. Dermot Mulroney's character has always kind of been, I know Danny, right, Josh Segura's character, I think he was kind of on people's suspect list, and maybe he still is. Dermot's character, I don't know. I feel like it can go either way. I feel like he could be the biggest and easiest red herring of the entire group, because it just makes so much sense, in my opinion, why he would be Ghostface. It's almost like, here, I'm going to walk you through it, okay? Because I really do believe this. It's almost like they want you to think that he's Ghostface. Truly, now they don't outright say it, but I do think they'll probably drop a line. Someone will say it in the movie. It does look like this Ghostface has kind of training, right? Even if you take aside the comments of, I'm something different, right? Those kind of lines of what Ghostface is. If you look at it just from what we've seen in the TV spots in the trailer, now we don't always know who's who. So do the different masks signify literally different killers, or is it just one, or is it two, and they use, they swap different masks? So you could be looking at the wrong one, is basically what I'm saying. And that really could be the way out of this for them, where it's like, well, you don't actually know. But the way Ghostface ducks, let's say, for the shotgun, or takes the shotgun away. Now, it uses the knife, right, to, impale the guy, but has a little hand-to-hand stuff there. And I've talked a lot about that. I mean, it was always in a joking kind of fashion, but this Ghostface actually does feel like, to me, like they have hand-to-hand combat. Also, and I mean, we've gone through this before in the past Scream movies, the brutality. This Ghostface definitely seems like they're quite brutal. And now, again, you can say that maybe for past ones, but I have a feeling, based off even what we've seen so far, that this Ghostface, they mean business. And these are like those hot words, those like buzzwords, but what do they actually mean? It really feels like training. It feels like this person is more prepared. They know what they're doing. Outside of maybe like the shrine, right? See, the shrine is also interesting for its whole other reason, in that, why is this person so into this stuff? Now, I know people have brought up, maybe they're doing like the true crime documentaries, right? Maybe they're going down that road and saying this person's maybe into that stuff. That is a big thing. It's not really horror, right? But it's been going around online, even though like Netflix and all that stuff, right? But it's been a big thing the last 5 or so years, let's say, when these kind of true crime stories come out. There's so many people that are super, super into them. They're interested in kind of learning about the killer. And that really does seem like it's what's happening here. Now, they're using a Scream backdrop, right? But it does seem like this movie's Ghostface is just really interested in the people that were, right? The people that used to be Ghostface in past lives, what made them tick, what made them do it. And it seems like that's at least to me, it seems like that's the point of the shrine. So that doesn't have to be a cop or a detective or anything like that. That does, I would say, Dermot Mulroney's character, Detective Bailey, that puts him in the running. But I mean, you could be into these true crime stories and you don't have to be part of the force, right? So that's something to bring up as well, right? It doesn't absolutely guarantee that it's him. Now, I would say, though, putting the true crime stuff in and then also putting some of the hand-to-hand combat, that this Ghostface just seems, again, better prepared. They know what they're doing. They do seem to have a little bit of hand-to-hand experience. Again, I really do get the sense that they almost want you to think it's one of the cops. And when you do that, you're really limiting it because it's him and it's Kirby, right, in terms of like this main cast. So unless you think it's Kirby, which again, I've brought that up. We've kind of gone down that theory. I think they're interesting, and I don't know how upset or how happy I would be. I just don't think it's going to happen, right, where it's Kirby. But could it be Dermot Mulroney? Another thing that does factually, I think, put him into the running is he's one of the only characters that you can visually see. You can isolate them and say they make it to the shrine at the end. So you have to go back to the trailer for this, but as we talked about, as more and more, and there's hundreds of these TV spots, it seems, right? As more of these things come out, you can really start to paint a picture. Maybe not entirely, but you can at least start to tell at least who's there, who's at the ending that we can actually see. The answer is not that many people. Now, that does leave the window open to say, okay, well, there's got to be others. Plus, there's got to be the killers, right? So when you see Sam, Tara, Chad. Okay, those are 3 that you can absolutely do it. But you also see him, and he's in the shrine. He's actually around where the Ghostfaces, plural, are. Kirby's there as well, right? So we saw Kirby a little bit later at the Super Bowl one. But we saw Detective Bailey there extremely early. And it was one of the things where you could immediately say, okay, at least he survives up until that point. Now, I guess that makes sense, right? Because he's older, he's a cop, like he's probably going to be separated. Clearly looks like this killer is going after the younger generation, right? So why would they go after necessarily him or even Kirby, right? If they kind of stay on their own path of the detective side of things, they really should be safe until the ending. So again, that puts them into the running simply because you can actually only find 5 characters. You can't even find Gale. That doesn't mean Gale is not there. And again, you're not counting the killers. If there's 2, if there's whatever, you're not counting them. So, and he could be one of them, right? So he makes it there, but does that mean he can't, fake it and put the mask back on, run away? You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff you can do. I will say, in terms of this light prediction for his character, I do think he's going to be this red herring that they want you to believe it's going to be him. He's probably going to be very focused on in that way, and I actually think it won't be him. I really feel like Henry Czerny and Jack Champion, those are my 2, at least as of right now. I got like another week to solidify it. He was up there. Detective Bailey was definitely up there. His daughter being a victim, right? We've talked about that before. So in terms of, what to expect from him from the rest of the movie, or, what I think they're going to do with him, I don't even know how much, honestly, he'll be in it. I think when I was talking about, kind of keeping them separate, him and Kirby, I almost feel like that's what they're going to do. Maybe not 100% with Kirby, right? She'll kind of cross over here and there. I think that older group, even though Kirby, Hayden Panettiere, is 1 year older than Melissa Barrera, but whatever. That older group I do think is going to relatively be separate. You'll have the Gale thing. You'll have the Gale thing at her apartment. And you'll also have Detective Bailey and Kirby kind of away from it. Maybe they'll come together for the shrine, split up again, right? They'll maybe know about this trap that they're springing for Ghostface, but I do think he'll be relatively safe. A thing that I do think puts him into the running with some people is Quinn, right? I think a lot of people do expect there to be, whether it's right or wrong to expect it, but I do think people believe it's a possibility, a fake out death. I really think, we talk about Tony Revolori's character, I really think a lot of people are starting to go more and more towards Quinn. That maybe Quinn is a fake out, maybe she's not actually going to die. That could be something. We've gone through Detective Bailey before with, is he connected to Olivia? That was back when it sounded like he had something to do with Scream 4. It could be that he just wanted to see the Kirby stuff because they'll be working together for, so much of Scream 6. But as time has gone on, I feel like that connection to Scream 4 idea that people had come up, and I had come up with it as well, it's possible. I still think it's possible. And if that's true, again, it makes him very interesting because maybe he changed his last name, when he left or whatever. Maybe he's got like this dark past he's not talking about. There's a lot you can do with him. But if he's Ghostface, I feel like all of that's obviously going to come out in the monologue right at the end. But I don't know. I honestly would like it to be him in a sense because I want somebody with this kind of experience. It goes back to that experience. It goes back to someone who knows what they're doing. This guy, if you connected him to Olivia in that way, he would have been, a family member of a person that was massacred and all this stuff. So he'd have a dark past. He'd maybe have a pretty good reason that would maybe be quite different than past reasons or motives that we've gotten. He's also older, wiser, able to plan, better at hand-to-hand combat. It would be cool to see him face off against Sam and Tara, knowing what he's capable of, right? Versus, and even though I've said, I think it could be Jack Champion's character, this scrawny 17-year-old kid, right? I would like it to be a Detective Bailey type versus a Jack Champion's character type, at least in my opinion. But we'll talk about that another time. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, turn the bell on so you know when all these videos go up. If you want to check out any of my social medias, my other YouTube channels, our Discord server, all the links are in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next one.